Honda #1 is cheap. Honda makes power, and Honda got the weight. So we got all three, you know. That's the point of this, you know. Like not to spend a lot of money, you know, on beating cars. Like they have a lot of money on it. You know? That's why people get really frustrated, you know, about Hondas. That's why they hate Hondas too. You know? It is what it is.
So here's the update video of what's been going on. Both cars in the driveway got plates, as you can see. Well, mine had plates, but more importantly, my brother's car, we got registered, insured, all that. Went to emissions, failed. We didn't have the check engine light out for long enough. So, you know, go back 30, 60 days, whatever it is. Show you the car. It's got the plates. The halo's in the front. Basically exactly how it was since the last video of us just putzing it around up in the backyard. It's got some rims on it, and it has some really crappy suspension on it, but it is low. And my brother painted the rims. They were they're EP3 off the early 2000s Civic SI hatches. So they came all white. They were really dirty. Sit in some guy's basement, so painted them black. Definitely better than the Steelers. It's got the old crappy bucket seats. And we found a rat in the car too. I'll come around to the other side. So that was an interesting time. Went to go turn the door's locked. Went to go turn the heater on, and it was just literally spraying rat shit everywhere, because the rat made a home inside the heater box, or the blower box, and the AC box. So as you can see, all that is ripped out, and it was just disgusting. We got a rat trap chilling right there, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's even a little rat poop right there on the rat trap. So the rat is clearly not falling for that one. And you see these like little scraps of carpeting that are around. Yeah, those just kind of keep popping up every day. So, oh, there's some more right there. Yeah, we got a rat in here, you know. Back strut bar, rear speakers. So that's, yeah, this thing has been fun. It's got the SI cluster, got a vacuum gauge hooked up, and the AM wideband. Stock shifter with a shift knob. It's pretty much stock in here, besides the what's done up on the cluster and the seats. You know, steering wheel wrap, because the steering wheel is just kind of gross. Off the hood. Stock single cam with, I guess, what you would say full bolt-ons. It's just got, you know, intake, headers, and some crappy exhaust on it. It actually is rocking a stock muffler right now because, as I said, we're still trying to get this thing through emissions. And oh yeah, look at that thing. Nice and tiny. And we got the rear control arm setup going on. I mean, it's not bad for what it is. We did upgrade the motor mounts. So he has the Yanaka. We got the whole set, but we didn't do the back one just because it was such a pain in the ass to get to. So the back one is still stock, but the cam side and the transmission mount are Yanaka. And we also got gotta go under the bumper, the Chinese special, what are these, like $40 for the solid lower torque mounts. We got those in. Had to, you know, modify them a little bit to make them fit, of course, because China, but, you know, paid like less than half of a, for a name brand one, so gotta save money where you can, right? New oxygen sensor. New radiator, even though it still looks not so great. The other one, we did have an aluminum dual core on here, dual core, but it was in rough shape. It was the it came with the red hatch, so it was it has seen better days. That's about it going on with this hoopty. And then not too much has happened to my car. Well, actually, quite a bit has. Just nothing very major. I put on the front wheels from the hatch and the some back rotas that I had and some hand cooks. Put the spoiler back on for the summer. I added a quick release for the front bumper because actually I'll show you real quick. My bumper tabs are just destroyed, and I even tried to redo another one, and it was just, the bumper was just always sagging, and this part, the because I still had my fender liner would always somehow end up like that outside the bumper, and that was annoying. And, yeah, this thing does not want to sit right. But yes, these quick releases are nice. These are the I got these from Black Path, and you know they are what they are. What else? A big weight reduction mod. I got the CCC Racing aluminum sunroof panel delete. Nice bird. Took some target practice on here. Riveted that in. Interior wise, still have the S2000 seats. The mint. Got the S2000 steering wheel in, and yes, it's all hooked up right. This is the 0405 wheel, so it's the 2-wire airbag, so my airbag system is still all good. Civic Type R center console radio delete, so I'm not rocking any speakers. I went a little overboard on the structural bracing on this thing. I basically just kind of wanted to see how stiff I could get it without like putting an actual roll cage or roll bar back there. Yeah, a little ridiculous. Probably going to take some of those out. Okay, yep, got the wideband vacuum gauge. I would turn it on, but well, I'll turn it on just for a second. But I'm pretty low on gas right now. I also have I got the ordered this from Honda. The AC delete. So if you see there, it actually just gets rid of the AC condenser and all that, and then you can see I have a plug right there. That's actually plugging the firewall right in back of the battery. And if you don't have that in, just tons of air from the engine bay will come in. And I got a few exhaust leaks, so yeah, it was really stinking like exhaust till I got that plug in. There's also, if you remove the AC on the inside, there will be another hole below there for where the AC drains the water. And I didn't get a plug for that. I just used painter's tape, and I wrapped it up into a ball, and I pressed it in the hole, and it's been fine since. So there you go with that. Got a new Honda unit right here, S300 V3. Working beautifully so far. I got the wideband hooked up right there, and the just sensor inputs for my two switches using the SCS and the ACS. To be the security switch and the air conditioning switch, which I no longer need because of AC. And those I'm running right here on the switches. One is I use one for my data logging, so I can just turn that on or off whenever I want to data log. And then the other one I use for sometimes the security input, or sometimes for the burnout rev limiter, depending. That's pretty much it for updates going on in here. No door panels. although I do plan on putting door panels back in. I also plan on putting a radio back in with just rear speakers. I still got to do the sound deadening removal of this thing. Gotta get some dry ice and do that. Right here, got the S300. Okay, updates in the engine bay. Had to go through emissions, so I had a crappy, just Amazon China header on here with just a stock O2 sensor. I just got through emissions a few weeks ago, so I still haven't put my fuel rail and injectors back on. I'm rocking all stock right now, which I've been tuning it myself on the Honda, and I'm actually right at the limit on these injectors. At like 8200 RPM, the injectors are at like 97% duty cycle, so I'm just kind of asking for something to go wrong here. I marked the tops of the cams, just a little white dot, just to help make sure that there's no time doesn't jump, because my belt is a little loose on here. Once it's fully up to temperature, it's not loose, but I still worry about it. I got the Integra Type R strut bar put on. I like it. I like it a lot. It's like a Civic, but then pop the hood, boom, Integra Type R. Still got the same radiator. Has been doing good. The AM V2 intake. Put on the Skunk 2 block-off plate for the intake air temperature sensor, because I'm running the one in the tube right there. That's about it for up in the engine bay. I got the that's how they got the vacuum line hooked up for the gauge. You know, the PLM header. I do want to get a different header for this, because this one is like a very AC friendly header, and I don't have, as you can see, I got plenty of real estate here, so I want to run I want to get a big tubular header, because I was thinking about maybe putting a turbo on this, but that's just not a good idea. Just not a good idea. Just keep it all motor, keep it simple. It's the daily. It's about how low the exhaust sits. It's pretty low, but the suspension's pretty stiff, so it actually doesn't. It hits way less than you'd think it would. It really does, and especially if you know how to drive a lowered car. I can't think of much more. Oh. Yeah, well, yeah, so the engine bay, that's all that's been going on for here. Go to the back of the car. Got the spoiler back on. And I got the, still the same lower control arms, but I did get a brace for that. Really like how that looks. And that's pretty much it for, what's been going on with these two. So this is a new project I got my hands on over the winter. It's a 92 Honda Civic VX. It's still all stock right now, except for parts removed. Minus the Racer red H badge right there. But Rice is life, so there it stays. Factory, no mirror on passenger side. Nice thing is it's going to be considered a classic car next year for 2017, since it'll be 25 years old. That'll be convenient. So a little about it. It's only been in a few accidents. They consist of one time the hood flew open on the highway, and that's why you'll see the hood paint is absolute shit compared to the rest of the car, because you know, it wasn't done by Honda, so it's not going to come out good. So yeah, windshields got replaced as well when the hood went up, and then it has some rear end damage. I was plasti dipping the back trunk because rice, and it started raining, so I had to stop. I'm gonna finish that someday. It'll look good. Well, I'm gonna peel it all off, and then no harm done. It's got a little dent in right here. Not so bad, really not so bad. And then it's got a little of this going on right here. So, and this is, I plan on being a drag car, so those are minor, very minor. Now, what's more major would be this rust. That's pretty gnarly. That's also pretty gnarly. You know, from Connecticut, basically everything has rust up here. If it doesn't have rust, they want, everyone wants an arm and a leg for it. So, and you know, this is not a show car by any means, by any stretch of the word. So, like, if we can just cut that out, patch it, and yeah, I mean, it literally does not have to look good at all. I got the interior gutted already. It's got 100. It's really not that high mileage, 168, and it's the VX, so excuse me. It has the economy motor, the economy VTEC motor, which is nice because it has the I'll be able to just reuse this engine harness, and it should be fine with all my other VTEC engines. Radio delete, of course. Lot of delete in here. You know, like pretty much everything is gone. Some bad rust in that back bumper support corner. That other corner's not so bad. The most worrying rust on the inside is right there. It's just starting to come through in both the corners. There's a little rust under the gas pedal, but I mean, I guess there were some cheaper cars in a little better shape, but nothing that was stock. And anyone who has gotten a project car from someone else, oh yes, more info on that later, don't worry. But yeah, you can spend a lot of time backtracking other people's half-assedness and mistakes and all that. So this thing was bone stock, owned by a teacher. So like it's good. It's got the alloy, you know, the VX wheels on it, 13s. You know, I actually plan on using these stock wheels because they're so small in the back. I don't even want to waste the money. Well, but track lights for the rear. But I think I'm just gonna get away with these. The fronts, you know, I'm going with some weld racing. I'm thinking 13 by 8. I haven't fully decided on the setup yet. Still haven't decided on the suspension yet. But that's, I don't even have the motor swapped in, so that's all up in the air still. Is this hood popped? Yes. Yep, non-factory hood, like I said. There he is. There she is. The D15 is dirty. But there's the VTEC solenoid. And look how small this intake tube is. Like, I'm talking that's a small intake tube. Little mini throttle body. It just looks so small compared to the B series stuff.